Why are you a Mason, Peter?
Drinking with my mates, camaraderie, and I always enjoyed the Cubs and the Scouts when I was a kid.
Yes.
I was never in the military, but that's what it gives me. You know, I get another badge, if you want.
Can I put something a little less friendly forward here?
Yeah.
Is it one of the places where you can be confident that you're only really going to be spending time with people like you?
Probably, yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So that's why we've crossed swords in the past, is it? Because that's your worldview, and mine obviously is the opposite of that.
Yeah.
Well, at least you're honest.
We've crossed swords. You didn't used to like dogs. You've now got one.
No, but I'm never going to like racists, mate. Let's not get carried away. I'm not saying you are, but the idea that I would enjoy the company of white middle-aged men more than I would, for example, enjoy the company of women in their 60s or young lads in their 20s is for me a little bit silly. But I appreciate not everybody's like me.
I'd like to destroy that demographic completely.
Without mentioning Ladies' Night.
Yeah, I've had a guy from Sri Lanka in the lodge. We've got a Jamaican.
Yeah, that's kind of my point. We've got a Jamaican.
When I say we've got several.
Oh, all right.
You know, we've got several Sikh guys in the lodge.
And do they get promoted at work as a result? Because the other fellow was telling me that white heterosexuals get held back because they're Masons.
I've got no idea. One of them's an accountant, the other one's a shopkeeper.
And you get to spend time with each other, no women allowed, little bit of symbolism. What's the downside? I can't really see one. I do lots of things you'd find silly. This is just harmless fun, you'd say?
Yeah, exactly, harmless fun.
Where do you think all the gubbins comes from then? All the suspicion and controversy and all of that malarkey?
Let's be frank. Let's not to say that in the dim and distant past, things didn't go on.
Like what?
Well, loads of Masons were in government, some still are, and they could control in the civil service.
Well, hang on, you can't have it both ways. A minute ago it was all sort of, all jolly hockey sticks, and now they're running the government and the civil service.
Were. In years, I'm talking years past.
And what would you do? What would a senior politician or civil servant be able to do for a fellow Mason that they wouldn't do for a non-Mason?
Oh, there's a very good question.
That's what I'm here for.
Have you thought about doing that for a job?
Don't be daft. The queue's too long. Go on, answer the question. Answer the question. What could they do for you that they wouldn't do for me?
Ignore or sidetrack your idea and take on board what somebody else has said. Maybe if there's two of you sitting in a room and there's one promotion,
yeah,
because he knows you and knows what you are, you might get the promotion.
And that's just old school tie. Not that the old school tie is something to be encouraged, but it doesn't have the sinister trappings that Freemasonry often gets associated with. No,
I mean, and to be totally honest with you, James, I'm not saying that, as we was using East End days, saying there are and there have been wrong-uns.
But you get wrong-uns in any organisation, and to allow them, or indeed any religion or any social grouping, and to allow the bad behaviour of a tiny minority to influence how we judge the massive majority would, we used to all agree, be ridiculous. But of course we live in a world now where if a brown person commits a crime in Cologne 2 years ago, it's proof that all brown people are rotten. But if the President of the United States boasts about indulging in exactly the same behaviour, that's just locker room talk, and absolutely.
You didn't frankly have the balls to put country before party.